So I'm going to talk about defensive shape on corners in futsal. A lot of set pieces result in goals in futsal when done properly. So it's important to have a good defensive shape, especially from a corner. Now, we have scored many goals over the past few years off of corners, and we've also conceded many goals off of corners. So this is our shape that we like to take. Usually the goals happen when we are not in our shape. What we typically do is we have one person, in this case is Alex Shipley, along the line, or maybe sometimes taking one step out, depending on the court we play on. We sometimes have him take one step away from the corner. The point of his job right now of being able to cut off that corner is that no ball is played right down close to goal. Now, Brian typically can cover anything that's close. And if someone's maybe sneaking back post there, that might be an option for a player to play. But right now, we set up before anyone is even near us. A shot was taken, Brian made a save, and the ball went out for a corner. So one person ran over and grabbed the ball and put it down on the spot, and we are transitioning defensively. It's important to have a quick transition defensively. So if I go through a few key points, number one, the first key point is to transition back quickly defensively. Do not walk back. There's no forwards in futsal where you just hang out up top. That will be a quick way to get benched and not play anymore. Everyone tracks back defensively, especially on set pieces. So someone's taking a corner. All right. So the first thing is everyone tracks back. The second thing is once you've gotten into your shape, you need to stay in that shape and know your responsibility. If you get back and then you get distracted and you're looking around and not looking at the ball, that can be a big problem. Make sure you know your surroundings. Okay. So if one is track back, two is know your role. Okay. In this case right here, I will continue the video here in a second, but Shipley's role right here is to cut off the line. If anyone blasts it at him, his job is to stand there. In this case, this is me. I'm tracking back in order to provide support for Shipley, where if I were to stand over here and offer a gap to play in between, that person on the corner might play a simple split ball and split us to someone running in the box right here, which we've scored many goals off of because teams have been paying attention. So we want to prevent that. So I'm going to come in close and I'm going to get next to Shipley. So let me go ahead and show you. Right. So we know that no ball is going to split us right here. We don't have to stand and be like touching each other shoulder to shoulder. You don't have to, but we are able to cover this ground. I also know now in my responsibility that my job is to cut off anything that's played directly here. On a bigger court, right? On a bigger court, I would run as hard as I could as at anyone that plays a pass in this area or even drop back a little bit, right? So I know my responsibility is to one, cut off this pass so that way it doesn't sneak through. And two, if they do play this person most likely is going to wind up for a first time shot. I need to be running out as hard as I can to make sure that that person feels pressure under the shot. Now, they might know I'm running out hard and try and fake the shot, but I would rather them know that there's pressure coming and even foul them than give away a free shot like that because that's a close shot that could end up in a goal. Okay. In this case, Gavin is our third. So we have a little bit, if you look, it's kind of like an arc, right? Where Gavin's job is to pressure anything that's right at the top of the key, right? So if they end up not playing a short pass in here, but they play a pass that travels all the way to the top of the 3-point line, right? We want to make sure that Gavin covers that. This is our arc in futsal. It goes blue out to the 3-point line. So Gavin's area is in here. Sometimes he might even step out here if I can't get out quick enough. Now, in this case, we have AJ on the back post. AJ's hanging out, and he's going to be aware that if anything is like played and flipped in the air over top, that they are pressuring on that person's first touch and maybe even trying to intercept that ball. Okay. So they're kind of looking out. They can see more than anyone, right? Brian's already talking. Brian's pointing out and saying, hey, look, they got someone hanging out up here. Okay. So let's look and see what happens. Right. So notice that we're all knees bent defensively, looking for the shape. I'm cutting off this angle. I didn't even look behind me, right? I'm assuming that, hey, maybe there's someone that's streaking in here. I'm assuming the worst. But in that case, there's no one. There's no pressure. They haven't even tried. They're all hanging out up here. I would gladly give up a shot from further out near mid-court than an easy tap in from here. So we've success before the shot's even taken or before anything even happens. To me, this is a success that they have not been able to split or they have not even looked for any option in here. There's no one there. All right. So the ball's played out the top of the box, right? Gavin sprints out there and he's able to block the shot. I'll rewind it for us real quick. So once again, the shot's taken. Brian makes the save. We get here to the corner. We all track back. We're the first four back, right? It's played out. Gavin was already anticipating that. You see how he was like, he made like a quick step, like knowing that that ball was pretty much going to come there. He looked around. Look at Gavin's eyes, right? Gavin looked. Gavin looked around, saw him. He's anticipating it. He makes a quick little step there, already getting ready to charge him. He already knows, runs out there. It's not a surprise he runs out and he's able to block that shot. Right? So knowing that we have our defensive shape, sometimes we change it a little bit, but having a defensive shape and strategy in mind off set pieces is huge, especially off corners. We score a lot of our goals off set pieces. We practice our set pieces. Now, we could be better with our set pieces and better defensively, but if we're able to not to limit the amount of goals scored off set pieces, the better we are further down the line. Because some of these games might come down to 1 goal, 2 goals, and if you're able to limit those set piece goals, that makes you that much closer to actually pulling out the win in the